Multiple reports coming out today saying Doug Marrone will be the Jaguars' next head coach. He filled in as an interim head coach after Gus Bradley was fired last month. B-Mac, what's your take on this move?
Well, I'm surprised to hear the Jaguars make their announcement on who the head coach will be so early. It's a process, and you have quality candidates out there. But I think most importantly, they wanted to keep some of the structure they already had in place, and hiring Marrone and also hearing that Tom Coughlin will be VP is a huge step, I think, understanding that Tom comes with discipline, and that's something this organization seems to have lacked as of late. So you get Doug Marrone, a guy that is hands-on with the offense, hearing that he is vocal about his respect and how he wants to push Blake Bortles and get him to be a franchise quarterback with all the expectations. That was a big plus for the GM and also the owner, understanding that Doug Marrone is backing Blake Bortles and he wants to continue to work with him. Then you bring in a guy like Tom Coughlin, because I understand he's a VP. He's not going to be a normal VP. Right. This is a guy that's going to be not necessarily hands-on with the football operation on the field product, but you better believe he's going to have an input about drafting players, about bringing players in via free agency, and also the production and how consistent these guys are. So you basically getting a coach and a half.
Yeah.
Because Tom Coughlin is going to give his input, and his input is needed, I think, in this situation.
And his input certainly should be well received, knowing that he has those Super Bowl rings. But you like the fact that Marrone is familiar with how they do things in Jacksonville, because the other side of the coin is he was already an assistant, he was the interim, and maybe they need change. That's how some people look at it as kind of a mediocre move.
You know what, Clement, I agree, because some people feel this is a lateral move. You're not taking a step in the right direction. You're basically going east to west.
Right.
And they said that they like the change from the 2 games Marrone coached as the interim head coach.
They went 1-1.
They were 1-1. Exactly. They were 1-1.
Yep.
What change can you see in 2 weeks? Especially 2 weeks that they're the last 2 ball games of the season. So I think it was more so about Marrone giving his voice of reason for Blake Bortles, because they invested a lot in Blake Bortles a few years ago.
Yep.
He's a top pick, top 4 selection, if not mistaken, top 3 selection. So they feel like this is the guy we need to work with and we need to get the best out of. Other coaches that they probably interviewed may have felt, you know what? If I'm here, I want to move on from Blake Bortles. Now, ownership, GM, they may feel otherwise. And since Marrone gave his voice of reason and his backing that I think Blake Bortles can be the guy, it was easier for them to make that decision.
Marrone does have prior head coaching experience. He was 15-17 in 2 seasons in Buffalo. We'll see if he can improve on that in Jacksonville. 120 Sports, we have all your updates, and we're always on demand.